Welcome, gents. A man becomes truly magnetic the moment he stops trying to be. Most older Sigma males don't realize the very things they see as ordinary are what quietly pull younger women in. It's not your money, looks, or charm. It's your presence. The calm that comes from surviving storms. The silence that doesn't need to explain itself. The way you walk through life without chasing validation or attention. You've outgrown noise, and that's exactly what makes you magnetic in a world addicted to it. Younger women aren't just drawn to you because you seem mysterious. They sense something rare. They see a man who no longer seeks to prove himself because he already knows who he is. They feel safe around that kind of self-control. They feel seen when you actually listen, and they can't help but wonder what shaped that quiet confidence. This video isn't about feeding your ego. It's about reminding you that what you've become through pain, mistakes, and growth is something deeply valuable. You don't have to change or chase to attract anyone. Your very detachment, your discipline, your ability to live on your own terms, these are your natural advantages. So stay true to who you are. You're not losing relevance with age. You're becoming more defined, more grounded, and more magnetic than ever. Watch this video to the end, because you're about to see why your calm, your silence, and your experience speak louder than any words ever could. Let's get started, gents. Number 1. They radiate lived experience, not second-hand wisdom. There's a certain kind of power that can't be faked, copied, or taught. It's the quiet strength of a man who has lived. The kind who doesn't just talk about life from something he read, but from something he survived. That's what older Sigma males carry, the energy of lived experience. It shows in the way they move, the way they speak, and even the way they look at the world. Younger women can sense it instantly. They've met men who know the right words, the clever phrases, and the polished quotes, but those men sound rehearsed. Then they meet a Sigma male who has no script, no performance, just presence. His stories come from real scars, not imagination. His advice feels different because it's born out of nights he thought he'd never get through, and days when he had to rebuild himself from nothing. That kind of wisdom doesn't come from books or podcasts. It comes from being broken and choosing not to stay that way. And when he speaks, there's weight in his words, because he's not trying to impress anyone. He's just telling the truth as it is. That raw honesty cuts through all the surface-level talk that younger women are used to. It feels refreshing, grounding, even healing. There's something deeply attractive about a man who has been through chaos and didn't lose himself in it. He wears his past like quiet armor, not loud, not bitter, just real. He doesn't brag about what he's overcome. His energy already says it all. And that's the difference. Younger women don't see him as just older. They see him as seasoned. A man who carries lessons in his soul, not on his tongue. That's what sets the older Sigma apart. He doesn't preach about life. He embodies it. And that authenticity is magnetic in a world full of imitation. Number 2. They are living proof that maturity doesn't kill passion. There's something deeply captivating about an older Sigma male who carries both calm and fire within him. He's not the loud, restless kind of man who burns bright for attention. His passion is quieter, more focused, and far more powerful. He's living proof that growing older doesn't mean losing the spark. It means learning how to control it. Younger women feel that difference immediately. They sense that his energy doesn't come from trying to prove himself, but from understanding himself. He knows what excites him, what drains him, and what truly matters. That kind of awareness is rare, and it's incredibly magnetic. It's the difference between a man who plays with fire and a man who is the fire but knows exactly how to handle it. He doesn't waste passion on pointless drama or empty pursuits. When he gives his time or energy to something, it's intentional. That focus turns everything he does into art. Even his silence feels full of meaning. There's depth in the way he looks at you, calm in the way he speaks, and steady power in the way he carries himself. You can tell he's been through chaos, learned from it, and came out sharper. What makes him so irresistible is that he hasn't let age turn him cold. He still feels deeply but wisely. He still dreams but strategically. He still loves, but without losing himself in the process. His maturity didn't kill his passion. It refined it. It gave it direction and strength. And that's what draws younger women in. They see a man who's not afraid of emotion, but not ruled by it either. He's mastered the balance most people never find. He's passionate without being reckless, calm without being dull. His energy says, I've lived long enough to know what's real. And that quiet certainty feels more attractive than any youthful spark ever could. Number 3, they age like they've made peace with life. There's something undeniably magnetic about an older Sigma male who moves through life as if he's made peace with time itself. While most people fight aging like it's an enemy, he treats it like an old friend. He doesn't try to look younger or act like he's still 20. Instead, he wears his years with quiet pride. Every line on his face, every bit of calm in his tone, tells a story of someone who has lived fully, lost deeply, learned hard lessons, and came out stronger. Younger women can feel that energy immediately. They see a man who's not hiding from the passing of time, but embracing it. His confidence doesn't come from pretending to be something he's not. It comes from complete acceptance of who he's become. That self-acceptance is powerful because it's so rare. Most people are at war with themselves, chasing an image or running from the truth. But the older Sigma, he flows with it. He understands that change is part of mastery. There's a deep, attractive stillness in him. He doesn't chase youth. He carries wisdom. He doesn't cling to trends. He stands apart from them, and in doing so, he becomes timeless. Younger women see in him what most men lose with age, a sense of peace that doesn't dull the fire but shapes it into strength. He doesn't need to prove that he can still compete, because he knows that real growth isn't about staying the same. It's about evolving gracefully. Every year adds to his depth, his patience, and his quiet charm. The world may call it aging, but he's simply refining. That's why he stands out without even trying. While others panic about getting older, the Sigma grows into his power. He doesn't age like a man fading away. He ages like a soul leveling up. And that evolution is something no amount of youth can imitate. Number 4, they're unpredictable in the most stable way. There's a rare kind of man who can be both calm and unpredictable at the same time. Older Sigma males live in that space. They move through life with structure, but there's always an element of surprise in how they think, act, and respond. They have their routines, their quiet mornings, their focused work, their moments of solitude, but they're never trapped by them. They can shift gears in an instant, and that combination of order and freedom is exactly what keeps younger women fascinated. You can't fully predict a Sigma male, and that's what makes him exciting without being chaotic. He's not wild in a careless way. He's wild in a thoughtful way. He can spend days in silence, then suddenly decide to take a trip, start a new project, or disappear into something creative that no one saw coming. His life has rhythm, but not repetition. Every action feels deliberate, yet slightly mysterious. Younger women are drawn to that energy because it feels alive. It's not the dull predictability of a man who has settled, nor the immaturity of someone who has no direction. It's the balance of both. A man who has control over his world, but still leaves room for wonder. He doesn't live by society's script, and that freedom is intoxicating to watch. He's the type who could plan his day down to the hour, yet still make an unexpected move that changes everything. He's reliable but never boring. You can count on him to be grounded, but never to be ordinary. That's what makes him stand out. Younger women sense that life around him will never be static. His stability gives them comfort, and his unpredictability keeps their minds alive. It's not recklessness, it's mastery. He's learned how to keep life organized without killing the thrill that makes it worth living. And that balance is the quiet secret behind his lasting appeal. Number 5, they don't chase validation. They create gravity. There's a special kind of power that comes from a man who doesn't need to be noticed to feel important. Older Sigma males carry that effortlessly. They don't chase validation because they've already learned that attention is cheap, but self-respect is priceless. They don't perform for approval, they simply live with purpose. And that quiet confidence creates gravity. People, especially younger women, can feel it without even understanding why. When a Sigma male walks into a room, he doesn't announce himself. He doesn't adjust his personality to fit in or compete for space. Yet somehow, people notice. It's not what he says, it's how he carries himself. There's calmness in his tone, steadiness in his movements, and certainty in his silence. That stillness has weight. It's the kind of energy that draws others in because it feels grounded and real. Younger women are especially drawn to that kind of man because he represents something rare. Most men are busy trying to impress, constantly needing reassurance that they matter. But a Sigma doesn't chase that. His sense of worth doesn't depend on how many people like him. It comes from knowing who he is and where he's going. That level of inner peace feels magnetic. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. His confidence doesn't shout. It hums quietly in everything he does. When he speaks, people listen because they know he doesn't waste words. When he acts, he does it with intention, not for applause. His life moves with meaning, not performance. That's why younger women feel drawn toward him. He doesn't pull them in through charm or tactics. His energy does the work. He moves through life like a man on a mission, not a man looking for attention. And that sense of purpose creates its own kind of gravity, a pull so natural that others can't help but orbit around it. Number 6, their eyes hold stories without explanation. There's something haunting yet irresistible about the eyes of an older Sigma male. They don't sparkle with innocence or empty charm. They carry history. When he looks at you, it's not just a glance, it's an unspoken story. His eyes reveal that he's seen life in its rawest form, the beauty and the chaos, the victories and the heartbreaks, and somehow managed to stay sane through it all. There's a quiet power in that, and younger women can feel it instantly. His stare doesn't seek approval or attention. It observes, it studies, it sees through layers most people don't even realize they're wearing. Younger women sense that he doesn't just look at faces. He reads energy, patterns, and emotion. That kind of awareness is both intriguing and intimidating. It feels like he can see what you're not saying, like he understands your walls because he's had to build and break his own countless times. There's depth there, but also danger, not the reckless kind, but the kind that comes from surviving darkness. His eyes say, I've been through things that could have broken me, and I came out sharper. It's a mix of warmth and warning, and that duality pulls people in. Younger women find that mix fascinating because it's real. Most people hide their pain or over-explain it, but he doesn't need to. His eyes already tell the story, and that mystery keeps others guessing. It's not about charm or manipulation, it's presence. When a Sigma male looks at you, you feel both comforted and challenged. You sense that behind that calm stare is a man who knows what loss feels like, who's seen too much to be naive but still chooses peace. And that balance between danger and depth, between scars and serenity, is what makes his gaze unforgettable. It's not just his look that captivates, it's the life behind it. Number 7, they move with time instead of fighting it. There's something quietly commanding about an older Sigma male who moves with time instead of fighting it. While most men wrestle against aging, trying to outsmart it with denial or desperation, he walks in rhythm with it. He doesn't chase youth because he understands that time isn't an enemy. It's a teacher. Every passing year refines him, sharpens his focus, and strips away everything fake. That calm acceptance radiates a kind of dominance that doesn't need to shout. You can see it in how he carries himself. He doesn't rush to prove that he's still got it, because he never lost it. His power doesn't come from pretending to be young. It comes from understanding who he is now. There's no fear in his eyes, no insecurity in his voice, no need to compete with younger men. His presence says, "I know what I bring, and I know what I no longer need." That kind of self-assurance feels rare, and younger women pick up on it immediately. What draws them in isn't his age, it's his ease. He wears his experience with quiet pride. He's not running from time, he's using it. Every scar, every failure, every lesson has shaped him into someone who doesn't crumble under pressure. Younger women sense that kind of strength because it feels safe and grounded. While others spend their energy clinging to the illusion of youth, the Sigma evolves. He ages like a man who's mastered himself, not one who's lost his spark. That's what makes him stand out. His acceptance of time isn't surrender, it's strategy. It's knowing that growth and grace are more attractive than panic and pretense. In a world full of men pretending to be something they're not, the Sigma's calm acceptance becomes his power. He doesn't chase time, he walks beside it, and that quiet confidence outshines any youthful bravado. Number 8, they carry power in restraint. There's a unique kind of strength that doesn't come from words, but from knowing when to stay silent. Older Sigma males understand this deeply. They carry power in restraint. While others rush to speak, explain, or prove themselves, the Sigma male lets silence do the talking. He's learned that not every reaction deserves energy, and not every situation requires his opinion. That level of control isn't weakness, it's precision. When he enters a conversation, people listen, not because he talks the most, but because, when he finally does, it matters. His words have weight because they're not thrown around carelessly. He's not afraid of silence, and that alone makes him stand out. Most people panic when things get quiet, but he thrives in it. His stillness makes others uneasy, not because he's intimidating on purpose, but because his calm exposes their chaos. Younger women feel this energy immediately. They notice how he doesn't rush to fill the air with empty talk. He listens, he observes, he waits. That patience feels both mysterious and powerful. It suggests depth, experience, and emotional intelligence. When he finally chooses to speak, it's never to show off, it's to bring clarity or truth. Restraint for him isn't suppression, it's choice. It's understanding that reacting too quickly gives away power, while staying composed keeps it. It's the quiet confidence of a man who no longer needs to prove what he already knows. And that subtle dominance is magnetic. Younger women see it as control, discipline, and strength. It's not the loud kind of power that demands attention, but the quiet kind that commands it naturally. He doesn't need to raise his voice to be heard. His silence speaks volumes. In a world full of noise, that restraint becomes irresistible. It's proof that real power isn't in expression. It's in mastery. Number 9, they have no interest in outshining anyone. There's something deeply magnetic about a man who doesn't feel the need to outshine anyone. Older Sigma males embody that with effortless grace. They walk into rooms without the slightest urge to compete, impress, or dominate. Yet somehow they become the quiet center of attention. It's not arrogance, it's not shyness. It's a kind of humility so refined that it almost feels like an art form. They've learned that real confidence isn't about being the brightest in the room. It's about being completely comfortable in your own light. Their calm indifference confuses people at first. While others scramble to prove their worth, the Sigma male stays still, observant, grounded. He doesn't chase acknowledgement because he already knows what he's capable of. That detachment doesn't come from pride. It comes from peace. He doesn't need the spotlight to validate his value. His energy already speaks louder than any display of ego ever could. Younger women pick up on that energy instantly. They see a man who isn't threatened by anyone's success, who doesn't measure himself by comparison, and that feels rare. He's confident in a way that doesn't crush others. It calms them. It's the kind of self-assurance that comes only after you've stopped playing games with the world. His humility is powerful because it's paired with quiet mastery. He knows his worth, but he doesn't advertise it. He has nothing to prove, and that very stillness creates intrigue. It's a confidence that doesn't scream. It radiates. Younger women find that balance irresistible. It's the poise of a man who knows he could win any competition, but simply doesn't care to enter. His presence reminds people that true power doesn't need recognition. It just exists. That's what makes his humility so captivating. It's not weakness. It's confidence in its most elegant, controlled form. Number 10. They don't fall for games because they've outgrown the circus. Older Sigma males don't fall for games because they've outgrown the circus. They've seen too much, lived too deeply, and learned too many lessons to be fooled by surface-level tricks. Their instincts are razor-sharp, and their emotional radar is tuned to detect nonsense the moment it enters the room. They don't argue, they don't chase, and they don't play along. They simply see through it, and that quiet awareness can be both fascinating and intimidating. Younger women feel it instantly. A Sigma's energy says, "I've seen this before." He doesn't get flustered when someone tests his patience or tries to manipulate him. He just observes. That calm detachment makes others feel naked in front of him, not physically, but emotionally. It's like he can see past the mask and straight into motive. That's what makes him so different from the average man, who might take the bait just to feel validated. The Sigma never does. What's intriguing is that he doesn't use his insight to judge or embarrass. He simply withdraws his attention. And that, more than anything, is his power. Because when a man like that pulls his focus away, it feels like losing sunlight. His presence is a privilege, not a guarantee. Younger women sense that, and it challenges them to be real, because with him, pretense collapses. He's not harsh or cynical, he's just aware. He's learned that people reveal more through patterns than words, and that truth always exposes itself in time. So he waits. That patience, that emotional discipline, creates an aura that's both mysterious and magnetic. Younger women find themselves drawn in by that sense of depth, yet slightly uneasy under it. It's the strange pull of being understood without saying a word. The Sigma doesn't play the game. He reads it, understands it, and quietly walks away with his peace intact. And that control is far more attractive than any charm could ever be. Number 11. They don't advertise what they can do. Older Sigma males have a rare kind of presence, the kind that doesn't need to be explained. They don't brag, they don't boast, and they don't feel the urge to display their abilities just to be acknowledged. They've reached a stage where they understand that real power never announces itself. Their mystery isn't a strategy to attract attention, it's simply who they are. It's what happens when a man becomes so self-contained that he no longer needs the world's approval to feel complete. When a Sigma male walks into a room, there's an unspoken gravity around him. People can sense that he's capable of much more than he lets on. It's in the way he moves, the way he observes, the way he stays quiet when others are desperate to be heard. That calm silence makes people curious. Younger women especially feel drawn to that aura because it feels real, not manufactured. They can sense that there's more behind his stillness, something deep, something earned. He doesn't reveal his achievements or his plans unless there's a real reason to. He lets his results speak when the time comes, and that restraint only amplifies his intrigue. In a world where everyone is busy shouting about who they are, the Sigma becomes magnetic by doing the exact opposite. He keeps people guessing. Younger women feel that pull because it's not performance, it's essence. His silence feels confident, not cold. It hints at untold stories, lessons, and layers that most will never fully reach. He doesn't use mystery as a weapon, it's simply the byproduct of having depth and control. That's what makes him unforgettable. He's not trying to impress anyone, he's just being. His quiet confidence says everything his words don't. And that self-containment, that powerful silence, is what keeps people wondering long after he's left the room. In final words, a man who understands himself doesn't chase attention. He becomes the kind of energy that attention chases. Older Sigma males often underestimate how powerful their presence truly is. They don't see that what sets them apart isn't something they try to project. It's something they've earned through life itself. Their calm, their focus, their silence, their maturity, all of it comes from experience, not performance. And that authenticity is exactly what makes them magnetic. Younger women sense it because it's real. They can feel the peace that comes from a man who has faced storms and no longer fears the weather. They notice the self-control that doesn't come from suppression, but from mastery. They see a man who doesn't need validation because he already knows his worth. That combination of strength and stillness is rare, and that's what draws people in without him even trying. To every older Sigma male, your value doesn't fade with time, it deepens with it. The world may glorify youth and noise, but your quiet wisdom, your lived experience, and your inner balance are what others secretly crave. You don't need to be louder or faster. You already stand out because you've learned the art of being centered while everyone else is chasing chaos. Keep moving with purpose. Keep choosing peace over drama. Keep embodying the kind of strength that doesn't need to announce itself. Because while others try to look powerful, you simply are. And that calm confidence is exactly why younger women, and the world at large, can't help but be drawn to you. Thank you for watching, Gents, and God bless you.